Alrighty, everybody, we all live and get ready, everybody. I got Chris Kennedy joining me for the celebration of Microsoft Windows most legend. Oh, should I say Microsoft's most? Oh, I butchered the intro, but I'm gonna keep it
Hey,
in
how
there.
you doing? Yeah, good.
The legendary operating system 40 years ago today, on this very day in 1985. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Microsoft Windows 40th anniversary stream, and it begins after this brief countdown for 30 seconds. So hang tight, everybody. And while we get our brains loaded, .exe, and we will begin this fabulous 40th anniversary super stream of Microsoft Windows 40th anniversary stream here on BPT. See you in 30 seconds.
Woo. Woohoo! Yeah.
Alrighty. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to the third and final Microsoft live stream here on BPT of the Microsoft anniversary saga here on BPT. I am Weemits Plum, and joining me, everybody. You can listen to his album on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon, and of course you can purchase it on iTunes if you're generous enough.
Yes.
And I'll be buying it on Amazon Music when I can, when I get
Great.
my next
Awesome.
gift card.
Woo.
Christianity plays his hits, and of course he's the founder of the YouTube channel, and he has his own blog that you can check out on Weebly. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris
Weebly,
Kennedy.
yeah. Hi, I'm Chris Kennedy, and you can find the blog and my new site at chrisretrokennedy.com.
Alrighty, and
Thank
I'm
you for
on
that remix. Yes.
and I'm on there too, which is well, like I said, everything's gonna be in the description, and I'll mention it at the end of the stream, so hopefully I don't
Awesome.
forget.
Yeah.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is a milestone for the whole people who use this operating system. It's been
Yes,
around for
indeed.
40 years, and it
Oh,
really
yeah.
has reinvented itself the way that we use
Yep.
computers today, and how we play, we learn, we do productivity, we do everything
Oh, yeah.
of this legendary operating system. And with powerful education being used in schools and many across and all that stuff, and yeah, so this legendary piece of software, if you want to call it that, really revolutionized everything. Now, of course, 1984 is when Apple got into the game with the Mac operating system, with its GUI and all the amazing things that Macintosh people have used back in '84. And then obviously this came out on this day, on November the 20th, 1985. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the most iconic piece of software slash operating system of in the world, Microsoft Windows.
Woohoo! Yeah.
And so let me go into the banner here.
Yeah.
And okay, so this did not update. All right. Well, anyway,
Oh, man.
I will give that a fix. Yeah, because apparently it kept
Yeah.
the Nintendo thing, which we did. If you haven't seen that stream that me, Luke, and Chris did, you can
Yeah.
check it out. I'll put a bubble at the end
Exciting stream.
where you can watch that stream. Let's see.
Yes.
Let me do this here. Give me one
Sorry about
second
that.
as I type this in. Super. Yeah. Well, apparently I did this on here, but maybe I forgot to save it. There we go. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there it
This is
is.
very good.
Hopefully, there's no typo or anything, but there you go, guys. Microsoft Windows 40th anniversary,
Yep.
and the 40th anniversary of the most iconic, operating system of all time. And just so you guys know, I am streaming this on a iPad, specifically the iPad 11. That's the only thing I'm gonna mention on this stream tonight, because everything's gonna be about Windows in general. So I'm not gonna mention any Apple stuff other than we talked about the Mac and whatnot before Windows. Um, and me using an iPad to actually do the stream tonight. So and yes, I am streaming this on a 11th generation iPad that I recently purchased. I know that I haven't uploaded the unboxing video, but I have to record my voiceover, which I'll be doing on the iPad, and then airdrop it to the Mac so I can at least have that for you. So stay tuned, guys. The unboxing video is coming, so hang tight. I didn't forget about it, so because I've been really super busy with everything. So, but like I said, hang tight because we are gonna. Well, I'm gonna have that video uploaded as soon as possible. So for you guys on BPT. There you guys go again. I'm streaming this on an iPad 11 that I got recently. So there you guys go on that. And of course, on the bottom it says remixplum.exe, and I just wanted to give it a unique spin, but only on this live stream for tonight. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Windows has been really evolutionized the way that we all use PCs today. Like I said before, from productivity to learning to doing education stuff, playing games, obviously, and most importantly, back then. Now I know that Windows has been there ever since, but you could run like MS DOS, that sat on top of Windows. So if you didn't know the whole history, well, if that's MS DOS was its operating system, and then Windows was built on top of MS DOS. And people play MS DOS games back then from like the 80s and 90s. And then it kind of slowed down in popularity, and then it stopped altogether. But we remember Windows as everything, the everything operating system that MS DOS couldn't do. It was a graphical user interface, and it was really high tech. And we take it for granted today. In terms of the graphical interface, or GUI, GUI, and it's really what makes the operating system really tick. If you
Yeah.
So it's the whole environment to your whole Windows experience. Where you got the menu icons, the menu bars, the icons itself with the picture on them, letting you know, like if it's a W, it's Microsoft Word. If it's E for Excel, or P for PowerPoint, or many of the games that you play back in the day. They have that little executable thing that you use the pointer device to double click, and we all had to learn how to use this technology, this phenomenon. But it really became the way that we use PCs today. And I think that, for 40 years, Microsoft has given us a legendary piece of software that we use every day on whether you buy a new PC or you build a new PC. Chances are you're going to be running Windows on it. If you do video editing or you play games, or do productivity like I do, because I use PowerPoint on everyday basis. So, and like I said, Windows has that technology that Microsoft can only deliver. So, and while the two of us, me and Chris, use Windows, Luke, who is probably going to be watching this or going to be re-uploading it to Wumper, which I will allow him to do if he wants to. But even though it's going to take away my viewers and everything, which I'm not happy about, but I digress. But at the same time, I mean, we both use Windows PCs. I've been using it ever since. Chris has been using it as well. And I have like two mini PCs, one in Windows 11 Professional. My third one died on me, which was the Menace form, which had Windows 10, which no longer supports anymore. Wah, 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 wah. So there you go on that. But
Wow.
and Luke, on the other hand, he uses Mac OS. But I know that he has memories he wants to share, and if he has a memory he wants to share with us, he can do so in the comments or in the chat room. That's his choice, decision. And I'm not going to force him to if he doesn't want to. But yeah, so anyway, in a nutshell, that's that, I guess, for the whole uh, thing. So anyway, that's literally everything on that. And I think before we begin on let me unplug my iPad so I can use this on the bed. And yeah, you're gonna be hearing a lot of crackling stuff because it's on the thing. So just ignore that. But yeah, so I think before we begin the whole Windows history and whatnot, I think we need to go over and talk about our first version of Windows that we got introduced with.
Mhm.
So what do you think? You think we should start that off first?
Me?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. That sounds nice. Yeah.
So anyway, well, I guess I will go first. I got introduced to Windows with version Windows 3.1 back in '92. That was my first introduction of Windows, and I haven't used 3 or 2 or even the first one that got came out. But yeah, so my very first Windows was Windows 3.1. And it gave us a lot of unique features for Windows 3.1 that we have today, like true type fonts, which was a big thing back then in 1992, having true type fonts. And that was something that we take for granted today because you can go on the website and find millions and millions of fonts that you can find, TTF, OOTF, open type font,
Yes.
and the
Open
fonts are
text.
endless. And like I said, you can get them for free or you pay in order to
Yeah.
use it, and sometimes you can use it for non-personal use. But if you use it commercially, then they're gonna tell you not to do that unless if you decide to purchase and whatnot. But yeah, so True Type font was probably the biggest thing in Windows 3.1. And yes, it had MS DOS as well. And it got rid of the wheel mode support, I believe, in
Yeah.
3.1. But yeah, so for me, my introduction of Windows version is version 3.1 of Windows back in 1992. So that's as far as I can remember. So Windows 3.1 was the first Windows I used. Um, so so Chris, what's your what version of Windows got you introduced?
I have no idea. Probably 3.1.
The same, yeah, the same thing, yeah, 3.1. Yeah,
back in
I can agree with that.
early 90s. I would say 93, 1993, like mid
Yeah,
to
probably
late.
somewhere. Oh, yeah, probably for me be like 93, 94 for me.
It was
Um,
really close to when I was leaving Staten Island for Jersey.
uh,
Real
gotcha.
close to that time, yeah.
Hmm. So, but yeah, so his was 3.1, mine is 3.1. So that kind of answers all question in terms of all introduction of Windows. Again, me with 3.1. And yeah, so like you said, Windows 3.1 added a lot of unique features to the operating system. And again, it was really legendary, and it still is. If you look at it, because again, if it wasn't for having two type font and on 3.1, we probably wouldn't be able to have the fonts that we have today. Like Ohio, Times New Roman, or the other great fonts that were on Windows, especially the one with the V, Vendetta, or whatever it's called, the one with the V, um, or Microsoft Sans Serif. And like I said, there's a lot of great fonts that I'm using and whatnot. Because like I said, not only you can find great fonts on the internet, but you can also like download video game fonts too, which is kind of crazy that you can actually do that, and you can.
Cool.
They got the Sega font, they got Nintendo font, they got all kinds of fonts that you can use
The
for
and game
free.
show fonts, yeah.
Yeah, game show fonts too, like the A font.
The crate, the price is
That
down,
yeah, I have
price
that one too.
down wheel.
Uh, the A one that I use for Katy Pit Live, which was
Yes,
a game show that I've done on BPT. But yeah, I use the A font, and with the whole gradient color on OBS, it kind of made the game more special and give it that personality. But yeah, A
indeed.
the price down.
Yes,
Obviously the Wheel of Fortune one, but it's just endless and endless of the fonts that you can use on Windows, in both TTF and OTF.
absolutely.
Um, and so yeah, so there's that. Another thing about Windows for the 40th anniversary was the games. Because I believe Windows 1 had, I think, like two games or whatnot. I don't remember. I know one was Reversi, aka Othello,
Mhm.
which you had to get all your colors. It's the first to have all the colors, and beating your opponent. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
Othello in a way, which I played on the NES.
Uh,
But yeah, so Reversi is one of them. Then it was Windows 3.0 that had
cool.
Reversi, and a game that they added for 35 years and counting, and that is Microsoft Solitaire. It's a huge time waster for everybody who remember playing Solitaire. Uh, and if you were playing solitaire at work, chances are you were going to get fired for playing solitaire during business hours. Now, thankfully, I don't get fired when because like I said, I'm a true sport. One and being a CEO of Real One and all that stuff. So I won't get fired for playing the game of solitaire. But don't tell my boss. But anyway, um,
Exactly.
yeah, but yeah,
Ooh,
Microsoft Solitaire, that's been around by West Cherry. And then when 3.1 came out, they got rid of Reversi, and they replaced it with a game that we are all familiar with, and that is Minesweeper.
yeah,
So there was Minesweeper and Solitaire for Windows 3.1, and that was it. So those were the two games. But yeah, so James has been a main staple of Windows ever since. 95 had, Hearts and Free Cell, which Free Cell is kind of a toughy game. It's like Battletoads difficulty, and whatnot. Um, and
Yep.
then you got Hearts, obviously,
Hearts.
which
Yes.
was included. And then and 98 had the same thing. Uh, 2000 and Windows ME, yes, I'm going to mention that pathetic operating system. That included for the very first time, well, not just Spider Solitaire, which is a good solitaire game. Spider
Yep.
Solitaire, which was a Microsoft Plus thing that was on Windows 98. But the game that got included on Windows ME until Windows XP is a game that we all know and love back on Windows 95 days, and that is 3D Space Cadet Pinball.
Oh, cool. I remember that. Yeah.
So,
Indeed.
and like I said, Windows is notorious for games because when you had your first PC, and whether you used Windows 95 back in the day, you knew that there was games you wanted to play on this thing, and you just really wanted to really enjoy and express yourself on this whole idea. And there's a lot of great games that I remember playing on Windows. I mean, there's too many to list. But if I had to choose, I would probably say, like, the best, like Microsoft Entertainment Pack, um, which, had those games. And then later
Yes.
on, there was the Best of Entertainment Pack that came out in 94. That had games like Chips Challenge, Dr. Blackjack, Tri Pete's, Pyramid, and obviously my favorite games, four of them. One is Tetris. One is Woden's Revenge, which is awesome. Jazz Ball, which is similar to Kits in a way. Love Jazz Ball. And the fourth game that needs no introduction, it's a game where you have to run away from the abominable snowman. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And if you haven't played that game, well, where have you been all your life? The game is called Ski Free.
Ski free. Yes.
Yeah, and that snowman, if he comes up and eats you, boy, he
He
is
was
so terrifying.
creepy.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
jackass
just
snowman was creepy.
mm-hmm.
I hated him. He scared the crap out of me.
Oh, I know. But yeah, so
Still does.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but
I
yeah,
mean that.
so
I'm serious about it.
oh
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I
I know.
know.
Yeah, I know. I understand. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so Windows, again, it's evolutionary piece of software that is still being
Yes.
used by billions of people. Businesses use it, schools using it. I'm using it for Wheel One, and it's really powerful. And it really does get the job done when it wants to work and whatnot, and not choke, because it really
Absolutely.
does that. But when it works, it really gets me creative in a way, and you can get things done, and whatnot, especially with the whole interface on what we have today. Um, and me using PowerPoint and using GIMP, for Wheel One and everything. Windows has really been a game changer for not only for me, but for Wheel One as well. And I think that the power of Windows is what makes it cutting edge, if you will, in terms of you know the the stuff that you can do on Windows. I mean, yeah, you can do it on the other platforms, but I'm just, like I said, this is Windows focus for tonight. So,
Mm,
but Windows has really came over the past 40 years, with successes and then failures, especially ME and Vista, and probably
yeah.
8. Um, but if you look at the successes, with 95, 98, XP,
Yeah.
7 and 10 and now 11. I know not a lot of people like 11. I have Windows 11. It's great. I like the interface. It just yeah, I like Windows 11. But yeah, I know. I mean, I can easily sit here and talk about all the things that they're doing wrong with Windows 11. But yeah, it's not really the place to really talk about. But
Mm.
so that's pretty much how I use Windows on a daily basis. As a business machine. When you have a mini PC right there, you buy a mini PC, you take it home, you take it out of the box, and then you set up Windows 11, and then you put the apps you're going to use that you bought the PC. Because again, I use my PC as a productivity machine rather than a gaming slash everyday PC, because I use my Mac Mini for the stuff that I want to do. But for everything else, yeah, Windows. And the apps that I use are only on Windows, and we're gonna be getting that. That's gonna be my favorite part of this stream tonight, and that is talking about good old memories of from each of us. And I have some too that I would love to talk about and everything, and it's just gonna be awesome. Um,
Yes,
it's just gonna be icing on the cake, if you will. So,
I gotcha.
but anyway, yeah. So, again, Windows has really changed, the way that we take things for granted. Especially with this whole AI thing that's really taken over and all the other stuff. That's how it is today. But everything that you can do on Windows, being creative, getting work done. That's one of the key elements of why Windows has been around for 40 years.
Absolutely, yes.
And we install new software when we get a new software that we buy. Now everything's digital, of course. But the whole landscape. And then you buy this monitor and and the mouse and the keyboard, and that's old school, and the new school is pretty much USB C, USB 3.2, USB 4, HDMI port instead of VGA. Uh, and PCs are now having they now come with SSDs instead of hard drives. And and the PCs that I get are usually mini PCs because they're powerful. Than the brands like HP and Dell, Lenovo and Asus. But because I have one that I really like using. Because again, I have two of them. Excuse me. One is the B
Fine.
Link. And the other one that I bought at Walmart this year is the GMK Tech M6 Plus. That one has Windows 11 on it, and yeah, it does get a lot of usage because I do create. I'm a creator. I love art, as many of you guys know, and when it comes to that, I take it for granted and I take it seriously enough because I make a lot of logos for Wear One, and I make logos for me and whatnot. And I did one with Luke and LJPCBM. But now he's gonna make his own logos, which I'm happy for him. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, and like I said, PowerPoint is where I make the logo happen, and then I copy and then I paste it over to GIMP.
Gotcha.
Then it transforms into a vector layer, so you don't see the black or the white or the green or any of that. All you see is a solid transparency, like you see on television where they have the logos and stuff. Well, the same thing that you can do on this too. And like I said, Windows is well known for all types of popular picture formats like JPEG, Windows bitmap, and even the ones that don't get used. Well, that probably does get used often, because the one I use often besides JPEG and bitmap is PNG. That's Portable Networks Group. That's the file format that gets used for saving transparency pictures. And how do I know all that, folks? Well, let's just say that, yeah, I make a lot of logos and I know which format to use. So there you go.
Yes.
But yeah, there's all kinds of formats, and then you got like, audio back then. You got MIDI and you got Wave. Um, and for video, you didn't really have a lot of options at the time. There were like AVI, which takes up a lot of space. Um, and then afterwards, we got like QuickTime .mov, and the one that we have today that's a standard now, MP4, MPEG 4 video. And there's all types of video formats. There's MKV, there's MP4, AVI, and probably the one that you haven't heard in a very long time because they don't do it anymore is a video codec known as DIVX, DIVX. And if you remember that back in the day, yeah, because DVD players had the ability to play divots. But yeah, there's no divots anymore. But yeah, I mean, there's QuickTime, and there's a whole bunch of formats that Windows has been known for. But yeah, so there you go on that. Hopefully, I'm not putting Chris to sleep, but
No, I'm not places. I am awake.
okay, all right.
You can see me, right?
All right.
I'm
Well,
awake. Get the mic on, so
yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
no problem.
But yeah, so there's all types of audio, all types of formats. Audio, you got MP3, obviously, when the MP3 players were popular in the late 90s. Then when iPod came about, I mean, yeah, it pretty much really was the king of all MP3 players. But yeah, so they go
Sorry, I have a
on
little bit of an
on that.
allergy. Forgive me.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, allergies are not fun.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, so now we're gonna do this here, everybody.
Sure.
Hopefully there's no feedback at all. Because I forgot to mention too that there shouldn't be any feedback when you're watching this. Let me know if because like I said, I want the stream to be not have any echo. Because like I said, I don't have my mic on my on my Mac. So you shouldn't, and like I said, I have the speakers muted so we don't get the bouncy feedback. So it should sound nice and clear because again I'm on the iPad. Um, so let me share a window here,
Yes, yes,
and let me do this here,
absolutely.
and I'm gonna switch. Oh, there we go. And let me okay. I'm gonna hide the banner real quick so we can put the because I put this in at the last second. There we go. So anyway, so Microsoft Windows, or commonly known as Windows, is a proprietary graphical operating system developed and marketed by Microsoft. See, and I'm gonna have that same issue where I'm gonna be reading this and I'm gonna end up messing it up. But I'm gonna keep that to a minimal because it's really gonna mess my vocabulary and everything. It is grouped of families that cater to sectors of the computing industry. Windows for PCs, personal computers, yada yada yada. Windows Server for servers and for embedded
Yes.
systems. Windows itself has further grouped into editions that cater to different users. Home for home users, professional for advanced users, education for schools, and enterprise for corporations. Windows is sold as a consumer retail product to computer manufacturers who bundle and distribute it with
Yes.
their systems. The first version of Windows that was released on this day in 1985, Windows version
Gotcha.
1.0. It was a graphical operating system shell for MS-DOS in response to growing interest of GUI or graphical user interface. The name Windows is referenced in the windowing system in GUI. The 1990 release of Windows 3 catapulted market success and led the launch of various other product families, including the now defunct Windows Mobile, Windows Phone, and Windows CE. Windows is the most popular desktop operating system in the world, with a 72% market share as of October 2025.
Oh
And the
my.
second most popular OS overall behind Android. As of August of 2025, Windows 11
Oh
is the
wow.
most used desktop version of Windows with a market share of 53%. So I just mentioned Windows 11 as well.
Yes.
As of 2025, the only active top level family of Windows NT. The first version was NT 3.1, that was intended for server computing and workstations.
Yes.
So you got that. You got Windows Server, Windows PE, Windows LOT. So there you go on that. These top level Windows families are no longer actively developed. That goes as following: MS DOS, which I believe we talked about MS DOS. So again, MS DOS was that, and then Windows
Yes.
sat on top of MS DOS, and that's really how Windows really came about. Was the whole MS DOS kind of thing, basically. From Windows 1, Windows 2, Windows 3X, and Windows 9X, exclusively for the consumer market. The last version of this family was
Yes.
Windows ME, yeah, which is mega crap. These versions of Windows
Okay.
had a
So
monolithic kernel that uses MS-DOS as a foundation, with Windows 95 and above having its own kernel, starting with Windows 2000. I thought Windows 2000 was a really good operating system, but then I realized Windows 2000 was only for businesses and not for retail
yes.
consumers. That's why my local library that I went to at the time until 2005, they were one in Windows 2000, and that's why I liked Windows 2000 because it was much more stable than ME. It kind of ran
Yeah.
better, and it kind of made sense in a way for one in PowerPoint and Word and Excel. And I'm like, why can I not get Windows 2000 at home? Well, it's because again, it was only for businesses, and it wasn't sold, and you wasn't able to get Windows 2000. I was so unhappy that I couldn't get Windows 2000, but again, I realized it was a professional for business users and not for the home.
Yeah.
Well, then how come I have Windows 11 Professional, huh? How come I have a Windows 11 Pro? Well, that's because I bought it at Walmart and I got two of them. And yes, you can use it as is, but the professional is what really makes Windows so special, and that is productivity tasks. Now, that's something you can do on Windows Home Edition. Yes, you should absolutely do that. Meaning, you can run PowerPoint on Windows 11 Home, and you can still be able to do PowerPoint. You can still make these awesome graphical presentations, and professional really does kick it up a notch, as Amul Lagasse would say. Let's spice it up, bam, 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 kick it up a notch. So that's literally how the whole professional thing really is. And again, it's for business users, and I would consider we're one to be business. I mean, because it is, that's what its main purpose is, right? I mean, that's what it is
Yeah.
basically, and that's the main purpose of using a professional version of Windows. Um, yeah, so Windows 2000 was a really good operating system, and now I know why I couldn't get Windows 2000. Because, like I said, I had this Windows ME at a store, which I think it was called Windows Center, and then it was a crappy PC. It was a gateway, and it had Windows ME, and I had a lot of problems. And then I switched to HP with Windows XP, and I
Yeah.
kept it. I got rid of
Oh,
Windows
cool.
ME, and I went to Windows XP, which I'm glad I did, because ME kept giving me problems and putting down $1,800 for this thing back then in the 2000s. It was nuts, and Windows ME was not that stable, and that's why I got fed up with it and like, okay, well, I'm keeping this Windows XP. I'm not giving it to back to them. Because in the long run, yeah, I had XP and it been working fine, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much that, if you will. Cause yeah, I had so many problems with Windows ME. It wasn't even funny. Not funny at all. But anyway. So MS DOS Foundation with Windows 95. Windows Mobile was a mobile phone and PDA operating system, and the predecessor to Windows Phone. The first version was Pocket PC in 2000. The third version, Windows Mobile 2003. And it was the first version to adopt Windows Mobile trademark. The last published version was 6.5. Windows Phone, which was sold only to smartphone manufacturers like Nokia. They had Windows Phone 7, followed by Windows Phone 8, 8.1, and then succeeded with Windows 10 Mobile. And I've used a Windows mobile phone. I thought it was pretty cool. But it wasn't as good as iOS and iPhone. But I did like the FM radio. That was one of the coolest things about that Nokia phone that we had. It was an FM radio, so I could listen to FM, and if I
Absolutely.
get
Yeah.
bored, and just listen to the FM. So it's really cool. But they don't make Windows Phone anymore, and you probably know why. So anyway, early versions, and so I'm gonna try to read it slowly and not go too fast and
Absolutely.
everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the history of Windows dates back to 1981 when Microsoft started work on a program called Interface Manager. The name Windows comes from the fact that the system was one of the first to use graphical boxes to represent programs. In the industry at the time, these were called Windows, and the underlying software was called Windowing software. It was announced in November 1983 after the Apple Lisa, but before the Macintosh under the name Windows. But Windows 1.0 was not released until November of 1985,
Yeah.
which is November the 20th. Windows 1.0 was to compete with Apple's operating system, but achieved a little popularity. Windows 1.0 was not a complete operating system. Rather, it extends MS-DOS. The shell of Windows 1.0 is a program known as the MS-DOS Executive.
Mm.
Components include calculator, calendar, card file, clipboard viewer, clock, control panel, notepad, paint, reversi, terminal, and white. So before there was WordPad, we had white and we WRITE and notepad. and Paint. Windows 1.0 does not allow overlap in windows. Instead, all windows are titled. Okay, excuse me. Only modern dialog boxes may appear over other windows. Microsoft Sword has included Windows development libraries with a C development environment, which included numerous Windows samples. Windows 2.0, released in December 1987, was more popular than its predecessor. It features several improvements to the user interface and memory management. Windows 2.03 changed the operating system from titled Windows to overlapping Windows.
Oh
The
wow.
result of this change led to Apple Computer filing a suit against Microsoft alleging infringement of Apple copyrights. Eventually settled in court in Microsoft's favor in 1993. Windows 2.0 introduced more sophisticated keyboard shortcuts and could make use of expanded memory. Windows
Yes.
2.1 was released in two different versions, Windows
Yeah.
286 and Windows 386.
Okay.
The 386 uses the virtual 8086 mode of the Intel uh, 8386 to multitask several DOS programs in the page memory model to emulate expanded memory using available extended memory.
Gotcha.
286, in spite of its name, runs on both Intel 8086 and 80286 processors, and it runs in real mode, but it can make use of the high memory area. In addition to the full Windows packages, there were one-time only versions that shipped with early Windows software from third
Gotcha.
parties, and it made possible to run Windows software on MS-DOS without the full Windows feature set. The early versions of Windows were often thought as a graphical shells, mostly because they went on top of MS-DOS and used it for file system services. However, the earliest Windows versions already assumed many typical operating system functions, normally having their own executable file format like exe. And by the way, we mentioned that exe doesn't exist. It's just something, for creative purposes. So, if you would want to click on me, well, you can. It's just you're not going to be able to. Well, yeah. Anyway, um, and providing their own device drivers like timer, graphics, printer, mouse, keyboard, and sound. Unlike MS-DOS, Windows allowed users to execute multiple graphical applications at the same time through cooperative multitasking. Windows implemented a elaborate segment-based software virtual memory scheme, which allowed it to run applications larger than available memory. Code segments and resources are swapped in and fall away when memory become scarce or scarce. However you pronounce it. Data segments moved in memory when given application had relinquished its processor control. So now we're gonna jump into Windows 3. This is where when Microsoft put Windows on the map, and this was 35 years ago, if you can believe that. 35 years ago, and whatnot. And I think I talked about that on the Microsoft 50th anniversary stream that me and Chris did as well. If you want to check that out, you can check that out as well. That was a lot of fun too, I might add. That and the Microsoft Office, which is probably the most fun I've ever had because I got to talk about my favorite piece of software. And to me, I consider it the killer app. Killer app. Two words, killer app. You got that? Good. All right. Anyway, 3.0. So 3.0 really put Microsoft on the map. And Windows 3.1 as well. We'll get to Windows 3.1 because again, me and Chris, that's all operating system that we used that got us introduced rather to Windows 3.1.
Yeah.
Okay, so Anyway, this is what Windows 3 looks like. If you guys are looking at it right there, so there is that. Okay, let me exit out of that, and it messed up.
Yeah.
Let me go all the way down because it kind of messed up. But anyway, so right here, that's Windows 3.
Yep.
So Windows 3.0 released in 1990 improved the design mostly because of virtual memory and loadable virtual device drivers or VXDS that allows Windows to share devices between multitask DOS applications. Windows 3.0 applications can run in protected mode, which gives them access to several megabytes of memory without the obligation to participate in the software virtual scheme. They want inside the same address
Yeah.
space where the segmented memory segmented yep provides a degree of protection. Windows 3.0 also featured improvements to the user interface. Microsoft rewrote critical operations for C to assembly. Windows 3 was the first version of Windows to achieve broad commercial success, selling just 2 million copies within the first 6 months. And now the operating system that me and Chris have used, and as our introduction to Windows, me and him, I think I used it in like 93, 94. Cause if I mean I remember one in stupid AOL dial-up like it's like a donkey like anyway I don't know. Um, I know I made a funny joke. Yeah, I know. I need to add a laugh on StreamYard. Anyway, Windows 3.1 was made available on March 1st, 1992, and I was talking about Windows 3.1. Windows 3.1 was the operating system that I got into Windows was 3.1. Um, and I remember it came on six uh gray light gray floppy disk, not the flop, not that black giant floppy thing, but it was a high density 3.5 inch floppy disk, because there's a crap ton of these 3.5 inch floppy disks. And I think it had 6 disks, although you didn't need this six. I don't know why. But Windows 3.1 installed on 5 disks, and you didn't need the last one. It was either 6 or 7. Um, I think there's 7. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it was 7.
Yeah.
Maybe 6. I have no idea. Um, Anyway, it featured a facelift. In October 92, Windows Workgroups, a special version with integrated peer to peer networking or P2P, was released. It was sold along with Windows 3.1. Windows support for Windows 3.1 ended on December 31st, 2001.
Gotcha.
Windows 3.2, which we never got,
Oh wow.
is an updated version of the Chinese version of Windows 3.1.
Oh
So
wow.
I don't think we should talk about that because we didn't have Windows 3.2. We only had 3.1. And now, the most revolutionary operating system out there, 30 years, baby. 30, yeah, 30 years.
Yeah.
Uh, the next major consumer, and I remember this too back in the day. I had this on my Acer Aspire. Yeah, we won't talk about that. Um, the next major oriented release of Windows, get ready for this, Windows 95. Windows 95 was released on August  24th, 1995. So it came out 30 years uh, in 1995, still remaining MS DOS based. Windows 95 introduced support for native 32-bit apps, plug-and-play hardware, preemptive multitasking. Now, this feature alone is worth upgrading to Windows 95 because if you remember back then on Windows 3.1, you were only limited to the file name and how long the file name has to be, and you were really restricted on that, so you couldn't really come up with a long file name. Well, Windows 95 got rid of that headache because now in Windows 95 it had long file names up to 255 characters. So that means you can name the file as long as you want, but not more than 255. That's like carrying 255 rupees in the NES Legend of Zelda, which Link can only hold up to 255 because there was a techno limitation on the NES. 255 rupees, 255 characters in Windows 95. There you go. Am I smart or what? Alright. So anyway, native 32-bit applications, long file names, provided increased stability over its predecessors. Windows 95 introduced a redesigned object-oriented user interface, replacing the previous program manager with the Start menu, taskbar, and Windows Explorer shell. Windows 95 was a major commercial success for Microsoft. Uh, Ina Fried of CNET remarked that by the time Windows
Wow.
95 was finished, ushered off the market in 2001, it became a fixture on computer desktops around the world. Microsoft published four OEM service releases uh, of Windows 95, each of which was roughly to a service pack. The first OSR 95 was also the first version to come with Microsoft's web browser that killed Netscape, and that is Internet Explorer. Mainstream support for Windows 95 ended on December 31st, 2000. So, 25 years, coming up on 25 years since Windows 95 ended in December 2000. Windows 95 was followed up with the release of Windows 98 on June 25th, 1998. Now, I have to be clear on this. I have never owned Windows 98. I have used 98, but I never owned a Windows 98 PC. I wish I did, but I never owned 98.
Oh, nice.
But I do like 98 though. It's and good thing they didn't give us the blue screen of death. That remember that infamous blue screen of death on Windows 98? And Bill Gates is like, maybe that's why we're not shipping Windows 98 yet. Yeah. It's like the OMG moment live on television where you're showing off Windows 98 and then bam, blue screen of death shows up and then Bill Gates is like, maybe that's why we're not releasing Windows 98 yet. And then he's like, Chris is like, not this Chris, but the other Chris who worked for Microsoft is like, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that was a funny moment. It was a blooper. Anyway, it introduced Windows driver model, support for USB devices, support for hibernation, and support for multi-monitor configuration. So Windows 98 was the first operating system of Microsoft Windows uh, to support multi-monitor, and we still use it today on Windows 11 with two, three, or even four monitors at once. I mean, who does that? Windows 98 also integrated Internet Explorer 4 through Active Desktop and other aspects of the Windows Desktop update. A series of enhancements to the Explorer shell, which was also made available for Windows 95. In June 1999, Microsoft released Windows 98 Second Edition as an updated version of 98. SE added Windows Internet Explorer 5 and Windows Media Player 6.2. And I remember Windows Media Player 6.2. Mainstream support for 98 ended on June 30th, 2002, and extended support ended on July 11th, 2006. All right, Chris, get ready for this one. We're going to have to talk about this turkey of a trash. Get ready. And folks, I hope you get ready. Who's watching this live on YouTube? I want to say thank you who is tuning in tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And I know you're gonna enjoy this. I'm not gonna enjoy it. What I'm gonna talk about right now, and I know Chris ain't gonna be happy with this either. But anyway, on September 14th, 2000, Microsoft releases Windows ME, the awful version of Windows, and
Yeah,
I hate Windows ME.
MA suck.
But I will say one thing about Windows ME that I did like was that song that was included in ME, which is called One Stop Dot Mid. That's like my favorite song on Windows ME. But other than that, that's about it. Everything else it crashes. And don't use Windows ME unless if you want to be laughed at by somebody. Yeah, you don't want to use it. Trust me. But yeah, One
Yeah,
Stop Mid, it's awesome. I like the song. It's about 4 minutes and 16 seconds long, but it's awesome. I like that song. Windows ME, the last DOS-based version of Windows. Windows ME incorporated visual interface enhancements from Windows NT, counterpart 2000, Windows 2000. It has faster boot times than previous versions, which, however, required the removal of the ability to access a real mode DOS environment, removing compatibility with some older programming, or old programs rather. It expanded multimedia functionality, included Windows Media Player 7, which was pretty cool. I remember using that, and when you open up Windows Media Player 7, it had a 30-second preview of a song by Beck. And if you were trying to show everybody how to use Windows ME, and showing Windows Media Player 7, you would have to stop playing the Beck song because you would get a copyright if you don't stop it. But yeah, the Beck song is what was included in Windows ME. And Windows ME also introduced Windows Movie Maker, which was trash. The one on XP that we're going to talk about is the one that I am familiar with, and the one that I use a lot. Windows Movie Maker was trash on ME. I don't know. The Yosemite picture, it does not load. It has too many issues. Even if you have a good graphics driver, or you want it in 256 or true color, that Yosemite picture still doesn't look like Yosemite in Windows Movie Maker. I think it's the most buggied and most god awful. But I will say, I will have to be fair that this is the first ever Windows Movie Maker that was ever made for Windows. So I have to be fair on that. But the Windows ME version sucked. And the XP one sucked too, but when they updated it for XP, it fixed a lot of things, and I used Windows Movie Maker on XP a lot more because I felt like XP was much better on Windows. But we'll get to that too. Um,
yeah.
the Windows image acquisition framework for retrieving images from scanners and digital cameras. Uh, System utilities such as System Fire Protection and System Restore. Updated home networking tools. However, Windows Me was faced with criticism for its speed and instability, along with hardware compatibility issues, its removal of real mode DOS support. PC World considered Windows Me to be one of the worst operating systems Microsoft has ever released, and the fourth worst tech product of all time. I agree.
Mhm.
I know you would agree on that too, because Windows ME sucks. and that's what Windows looks like for you guys if you didn't know. So that was introduced in Windows 3.1. That's the one that we are all familiar with today. So I'm gonna skip Windows NT because we all know what Windows NT is. All right,
Yes.
so now we're gonna talk about this awesome operating system, the most legendary operating system to ever come out in the year 2001, and that is Windows XP. This was the operating system of choice. This is the one that I had on my HP PC. It was a giant tower PC, and I think it was like purple, some sort of a light purple color, and yeah, and it had a DVD. I think it had a DVD player in it. Um, and yeah, it has Windows XP on it, and this was the operating system that I had. This is the one that I had, and I remember a lot. Windows XP was released to manufacturing on August 24th, 2001, and to the general public on October 25th, 2001. The introduction of Windows XP aimed to unify the consumer-oriented Windows 9 X series with the architecture introduced by Windows NT, a change which Microsoft promised would provide better performance over its DOS-based predecessors. XP would also introduce a redesigned user interface, including an updated start menu, a test-oriented Windows Explorer, streamlined multimedia networking features, Internet Explorer 6 with Microsoft's .NET Passport services, a compatibility mode to help provide backwards compatibility for that was designed with software designed for a previous versions of Windows and remote assistance. So there you go. At retail, Windows XP was marketed into two editions: the Home Edition towards
Oh,
consumers. The
okay.
Professional Edition was targeted towards business environments and power users. It included additional security and networking features. Home and Pro versions were later accompanied by the Media Center Edition for home theater PCs, with emphasis on support of DVD playback, TV tuner cards, DVR functionality, and remote controls. And the Tablet PC Edition designed for mobile devices, meeting its specs for a tablet computer with a supportive stylus. Now, here's the sad thing. Here's the sad story. Mainstream support of Windows XP ended on April 14th, 2009. The extended support ended on April. This was a very dark day for Windows XP users. On April 8th, 2014. Very sad, I know. Um, After Windows 2000, Microsoft also changed its release schedules for server operating systems. The server counterpart of XP, Windows Server 2003, was released in April of '03. That was followed in December 2005 by Server 2003-02. And now we go from one of the greatest operating systems of all time to now a head scratcher and a real headache. Windows Vista. Oh boy. Windows Vista. What can I say about Windows Vista? Hmm.
Sorry. I don't. Well, Windows Vista actually is awful.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, and I didn't like Office 2007, so there you go on that. Um,
Absolutely, yeah.
it wasn't that great. 2010 was a lot better than '07. Um,
Yes.
anyway, Windows Vista. After a lengthy development process, Windows Vista was released on November 30th, 2006 for volume licensing and January 30th, 2007 for consumers. It contained a number of new features from a redesigned shell to UI to significant technical changes with a particular focus on security features. It was available in a number of different editions and has been subject to some criticism, such as drop of performance, longer boot time, criticism of the UAC or user account control. That is annoying and I hate it, and it's still being used on Windows 11. It's still annoying and I still hate it. Stricter license agreement, which also sucks. Windows Server 2008 was released in 2008. So we go
Yeah.
from Windows Vista to the one that you like, which is Windows 7, which I had. And me personally, I don't care for 7 that much, but it is a big improvement over Vista. Probably because my HP that I bought at Staples had Windows 7 on it and it kept crashing on me. I don't know what the heck happened to it. I don't know. I was just so upset because I wanted it to work. I really wanted to love Windows 7, but it kept crashing on that HP. It was just something else. But anyway, Windows 7 on July 22nd, 2009, Windows 7 were released to manufacturing and released to the public 3 months later on October 22nd, 2009. Unlike its predecessor, Windows Vista, which introduced a large number of new features, Windows 7 was more intended to be more focused. Instrumental upgrade to the Windows line, and the goal being compatible with applications and hardware with which Windows Vista was already compatible. Windows 7 has multi-touch support, a redesigned Windows shell, up with an updated taskbar, with a revealable jump list that contains shortcut to files, frequently used specific applications and shortcuts to tasks within the application. A home
Gotcha.
networking system called Home Group and Performance Improvements. So that's Windows 7. Now here's the one that I have not had. I haven't had this one or the other one. I don't know and whatnot, but I have used it though, and it was cool at first, but it kind of got complicated. And I don't know what happened with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Windows 8 and 8.1. Windows 8 and 8.1. And what can I say about Windows 8? Well, it was a nice idea at first, but they had to make it so confusing. Like, should we do a tablet version? Should we make it a desktop? Well, let's do both, right? So that's what Windows 8 ended up with. The successor to Windows 7 was released generically on October 26th, 2012. A number of significant changes were made on Windows 8, including the introduction of the user interface based on Microsoft's Metro design language, with optimizations for touch based devices such as tablets and all in one PCs. These changes included the start screen, which uses large tiles that are more convenient for touch interactions and allow for a display of continually updated information, and a new class of apps
Absolutely, yes.
which are designed for use on touchscreen design on touch-based devices. The new Windows version required a minimum of 1024 by 768 pixels, making it unfit for netbooks, which uses a 800 by 600 pixel screen. So, if you used netbooks, well, guess what? You're not going to be able to use Windows 8 back then. You'd be out of luck. Have you used Windows 8? Have you seen Windows 8? Okay, he can answer that for us.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, remix? I was
Yeah,
taking a message.
have you tried and seen Windows 8? Have
Oh
you
yeah, a
used
long time ago, back in 2000. Oh God, 2012, 13,
Yeah, to
all the
2012.
way 2015, I believe.
Yep, 2012 to 15. Yeah, yeah, Windows 8.
4 years.
Windows 8 kind of combined the desktop and the tablet thing into
Yeah,
one, and it was a mess.
I didn't like Windows 8. It was not really a huge loyal friend to like I
I
was
mean, it was
Windows.
cool. I mean, it was a nice concept, but trying to mash the tablet features on a desktop,
Yeah,
people don't want to use tablet features on Windows desktop, and it got so clunky and all messy. It's like trying to fit a puzzle piece when you're trying to fit a puzzle, whatnot, and then things get screwed up by the minute, and that was not a smart idea. I mean, it was a nice idea, but for people who use desktop PCs, yeah, it suffered a lot of headaches for us Windows users, so that may not be a good idea. Um, Other changes included increased integration with cloud services and other online platforms, such as social networks and Microsoft's own OneDrive, which is formerly known as SkyDrive. And Xbox Live was introduced for the first time on a Windows operating system.
yeah,
Um, let's see, Windows Store for distribution for software that was introduced in Windows 8, and we still have Windows Store, which is now known as the Microsoft Store, where they have applications and games. They used to sell TV shows and movies, but Microsoft got rid of it altogether. So that kind of stinks, but hey, I mean, Apple TV is the way to go for buying TV shows and movies, like
yeah.
the Tetris movie or something like that. Um. Anyway, an update to Windows. Wait. Let's see. Okay, new variant known as Windows RT for use on devices that utilize the ARM architecture, which was the Microsoft Surface tablets, which had Windows RT, and that was kind of crap. An update to Windows 8 called Windows 8.1. So you see, Windows 3 3.1, Windows 8 Windows 8.1. And that was like 1990 and 1992 respectively. Now this is 2012 and 2013. I'm like, that's the second time that Microsoft has done that, where they do 3 to 3.1 and then 8 to 8.1. That happened twice for them. That was kind of funny, but it did improve a lot from Windows 8.
Yeah.
Um, so it includes features such as new live tile sizes, deeper OneDrive integration, and other revisions. Windows 8 and 8.1 have been subject to some criticism, such as the removal of the start menu. So that's why people were kind of. I know I'm gonna say this. I'm only gonna say this one time, but that'll be it. But it really pissed a lot of people off
He must have. Yeah, and he must
of
have. Yes. Agreed.
removing the start menu. I mean, that kind of pissed off a lot of people who did not like that.
Oh, you better believe
Uh,
it. I would might have
but
been one of them.
yeah, that was not the smart move.
Yeah.
Um, Anyway, so we go from Windows 8 8.1 to the one that ended support on Chris's birthday on
Yep.
October 14th,
Jesus Christ. What? My birthday
2025.
of all days. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Uh,
Microsoft, you devils, you
oh, I
Nimrod.
know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know.
on September 30th, 2014, Microsoft announced Windows 10 as the successor to 8.1. It was released on July 29th, 2015, rather, and
Yeah.
addressed shortcomings in the user interface first introduced in Windows 8. Changes on PC include the return of the Start menu, yay, a virtual desktop system, and the ability to run Windows Store apps within Windows on the desktop rather than full screen mode. Windows 10 is said to be available to update from qualified Windows 7 with Service Pack 1, Windows 8.1 to get Windows 10 application for Windows 7 and Windows 8.1, or Windows Update on Windows 7. And supposedly Windows 10 was supposed to be the last version of Windows. Well, guess what? They were wrong, and that one guy got fired over that when said that Windows 10 was going to be the last major Windows OS. Well, guess what? It wasn't. Thank God. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here talking about Windows 11 now, would we? All right. Well, we'll get to Windows
Yeah.
11. We'll get to that. February 2017.
Microsoft
Uh,
needs to get their stuff together.
oh
I'm gonna
yeah,
say harsh words about that later on,
yeah.
but go ahead. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
That's February 2017. Microsoft announced the migration of its Windows source code repository from Perforce to Git. This
Yes.
migration involved 3.5 million separate files in a 300 gigabyte repository. Yikes. 300 gigabytes? Holy crap.
Yeah.
By May 2017, 90% of its engineering team was using Git, and about 8,500 commits and 1760 Windows builds per day. In June 2021, shortly before Microsoft's announcement of Windows 11, Microsoft updated the life cycle policy pages for Windows 10, revealing that support for the last release of Windows 10 will end on, well, it happened on October 14th, 2025,
Gee, and I'm
which
still
was
using,
Chris's birthday.
and I was still using Windows 10, and guess what? My computer is bit to
Yeah,
dust
not
finally.
working right. Yeah, that kind of sucks.
But I am gonna get a Windows 11 pretty soon. I was against it. I wanted to test
Yeah,
Microsoft's
because
patience,
again, I have
but I have an iPad, so I'm screw hell with you, Microsoft.
and here's the thing. I used to have Windows 10 Pro on my Menace phone that I bought in 2022 and whatnot, but that don't work anymore because it don't boot into Windows anymore. So now
You want to
I
know the good
have
thing about all
the
this? Go
the
ahead, Remix.
Menace
I'm
the
sorry.
Menace phone PC that I had, which came with Windows 10 that I bought on
Oh,
Amazon.
nice.
That quit working on me
Oh
because it didn't
man,
want to
sorry to
boot for
hear that.
Windows. Yeah, well, this was 2023 or 24 when I moved into this apartment.
Gotcha.
When it stopped working.
Well, I
But
must. Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I must tell you, Remix. The good thing about this is I can use Windows 95 or 98 or XP on
Yeah.
my iPad. I just need you.
Mhm.
I just one day we're gonna find out how to do it.
Yeah, you
I
could
can
do that
play
on
Return of
that.
Arcade one of these days. Yes.
Hmm.
Or any of those other games like Ski Free, Doctor Blackjack.
Yeah.
There's so many games that I would love to try and get on Windows that I could play on an iPad or on a Linux
Yeah.
Raspberry Pi or something like that. But maybe I will get a a Win 11 computer like down the line if I have enough money. If I'm wanting to spend a lot of money, if it's worth it, yeah, I'll buy a Win
Yeah, and,
11.
and and not spend too much on the whole thing, really.
Yeah, I want a gaming
However,
laptop that'll do its job correctly.
yeah. Well, like I said, Black Friday is almost around the corner, and that HP gaming laptop that has Windows 11 is on sale, which normally costs $1,000. But you can get it for like 500. Because I'm on Walmart Plus. But it's for
Yes,
Walmart
indeed.
Plus members. So
Walmart Plus. Is it a gaming ThinkPad
it's
or
it's it's a gaming laptop, and it's a HP. It's an HP
HP
Victus,
gaming laptop?
Victus. It's a gaming laptop. Has a NVIDIA uh thing on it, and it has 16 gigabytes of memory.
Sorry to go
Um,
off the subject
yeah,
or
that's
out of
fine.
the subject,
It's
but
fine. Well,
I was
hey, at least
wondering if it had 13 inch screen And is it thinner than a regular laptop? Because I want something that's travel portable.
Well, like I said, I mean, at least on top of it, which is Windows, the whole Windows thing.
Yes. But
Well,
but is the
I don't
laptop like
believe
13-inch, or is it travel friendly, like lighter than
I don't know, but
Well, I'll check into it later. No problem. No problem. Carry on. I'm sorry.
yeah, that's fine.
It's
Well,
good to
the
know.
last thing I was going to say is on April 27, 2023, Microsoft announced that version 22H2 would be the last of Windows 10, and that was it on Windows
Uh,
10.
yes.
Excuse me. So,
Yep.
but like I said too, the Black Friday deals are only good till then. Because like I said, even though it's still an expensive PC, I mean, well, it's the one that I found at Walmart, which is the HP gaming laptop uh that has 16 gigabytes of memory, and obviously it works with Xbox controllers, which I haven't mentioned throughout the stream, and that is, yeah, you could use an Xbox controller on Windows,
Yeah.
because I think it was
Indeed.
the 7 or Vista that you could use the 360 controllers. And then when Xbox One came out in 2013, you could use Xbox One controllers, but only in micro USB until then. And then when Windows 10, obviously the Xbox One that has Bluetooth, and now on Windows 10 and Windows 11. Obviously, the Xbox Series S and X controllers, which is some of my favorite controllers ever made by Microsoft, and it works beautifully on Windows 10 and 11. And you could use Xbox on the HP, because obviously, it has the Xbox stuff integrated into Windows, and that was Windows 8 when it really introduced XP, not XP, but Xbox into Windows for the first time. That was pretty cool too. Integrating Xbox with Windows. And that was really cool. Um, so one last thing we're gonna talk about is Windows 11. And as I am doing this live on stream for tonight, it is now $599. Um, it is a 15.6 inch full high definition screen, and it has a refresh rate of 144 hertz. So you're gonna get more refresh rate than you would get on a 60 hertz. So this has 144 hertz, and the screen's pretty nice. 15 inch. 15.6 inch, and it has a numeric keypad. Um, It has Windows 11, 512 gig SSD, 16 gigabytes of memory. I wish it was DDR5, but it's DDR4. Um, Full HD display, NVIDIA graphics. It's a nice looking laptop for gaming. And again, you can pair it with a Xbox Series controller, which is on sale for $40, which is awesome. I mean, you literally use the best gaming controller, one of my favorite controllers, the Xbox Series X controller, and use that on Windows or a DualSense. You can use a DualSense as well, which I love both the DualSense and the Xbox. The Xbox is awesome when it in terms of controllers. Although Microsoft's getting kind of greedy with the whole Game Pass subscriptions, which drives me insane, but that was on the 50th anniversary of the Microsoft stream, so yeah. I'm
Indeed.
still
Yeah.
pissed at Microsoft about that, but anyway, we're going to move on.
Yep.
Windows 11. So on June 24th, 2021, Windows 11 was announced as a successor to Windows 10 during the live stream. The new operating system was designed to be more user friendly and understandable. It was released on October 5th, 2021, so about 4 years ago. So Windows 11 is 4 years old. Holy crap. And as of May 2022, Windows 11 is a free upgrade to Windows 10 users who meet the system requirements. Now, that's another thing too that people are complaining about is how in the heck are they going to be able to update Windows 11 if they don't have that specific requirement that you need in order to run Windows 11. So you would either A, if you meet the requirements, then good, you can upgrade it for free. But if it doesn't meet the requirements, then you have to go out and buy a whole new PC, which is going to drive people nuts, and they still are driving people nuts over this whole thing. So that's pretty much that. But yeah, so that's the version that we have currently. For me personally, I really do like Windows 11. I like the start menu and everything. I love the design. The fluent design is really nice, especially PowerPoint. PowerPoint looks so nice on Windows 11. It's better than 10. Um, just everything about Windows 11 is really nice. It's great. It's a I mean, I know that there's a lot of problems and that Microsoft is really making us mad and whatnot, but
Yeah.
Windows 11 for me, it's a way that I can be productive, be creative, and I don't use the whole AI thing because I'm the guy that makes the logos for Real One. I'm the guy that makes presentations in PowerPoint and really make the most advanced presentations I could possibly make as a human being. And I don't let AI take over the whole PowerPoint because at We're One we don't allow that and we ban that altogether. Because I was the one that said we should ban AI because we're not going to use that in We're One. Because I'm the only one that can do it because I've been doing it ever since the day that we switched from Windows Movie Maker to Office 2010. And if you want to hear everything about that, check out the Microsoft 50th anniversary where I talked about it and proved a point to where I helped save Wear One from its demise. I was the superhero that on that day. So yeah, everybody should thank me because I'm the CEO. In fact, that's the reason why I'm doing this stream tonight because I requested to take the day off. They granted it so I could do the stream tonight, and I'm happy to be here tonight. And I hope that you guys are enjoying the stream because I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys and all the subscribers and uh, and all that great stuff. So there you go on that. Um. So anyway, now the last thing is Windows 365. And after we get done talking about this, then we can talk about the last thing, and then we'll end the stream, and that is, share our favorite moments and memories we have with, if it's a program that we love using, or the apps that we remember using back in the day. We'll get to that. That's gonna be the fun part coming. So, but anyway, so get ready for that. Anyway, on in July 2021, Microsoft announced it would start selling subscriptions to virtualized Windows desktops as part of a new Windows 365 service in the following month. The new service will allow for cross-platform usage, aiming to make the operating system available for both Apple and Android users. You heard me right, Apple users and Android. So that means if you have a butt kicking iPad Pro or an iPad Air with the M3 or the M5, you'll be able to run Windows on this thing. Because Chris was telling me about this earlier of him using the Windows thing on the iPad, and I think it'll be great on iPad. Probably not so much on the iPad 11, but probably on iPad Pro, which has an M5 chip. Oh, hell yeah! I would be able to run that, no problem. Yeah, and I just slapped myself, so sorry about for that loud noise. But yeah, it really does kick butt on that. So there you go on that. It's a separate service and offers several variations And by the way, for you headphone users out there who are listening on headphones, just probably turn it down because I know I probably make your ears bleed, so I do apologize. Don't come after me. Anyway, um, so it's a separate service that offers several variations, including Windows 365 Frontline, Windows 365 Boot, and the Windows 365 app. The subscription service will be accessible through any operating system with a web browser. The new service is an attempt at capitalizing on the growing trend fostered during the pandemic. For businesses to adopt a hybrid remote work environment in which employees split their time between office and home, as the service will be accessible through web browsers, Microsoft will be able to bypass the need to publish the service through Google Play or the Apple App Store. Microsoft announced 365 availability to business and enterprise customers on August 2nd, 2021. And that is the whole shebang of the Windows, starting with Windows 1.0 from 1985 to today, which is Windows 11 and 365 respectively. And that's pretty much everything there is about Windows 3.1. So hope you guys enjoyed the whole history lesson. Hopefully, I didn't put you guys to sleep, and if I did, I'm sorry. But well, because like I said, it was either that or trying to tell you 2 hours worth of, hey, folks, John Man here with a popcorn popper, although Microsoft Windows. It's simple. You just plug it in, you turn on your PC, and then boom, you got Windows 1.0 splash screen. It's so advanced, I even use it too. So get your copy of Windows today. It's only 99 cents. Anyway,
99 cents.
anyway,
99.
yeah,
99.
yeah. So, um, this is the
Yeah.
reason. This is the reason
Yeah.
why I am so excited to do that shopping parody show that I'm going to be doing when I get this microphone. By the way, if you
Absolutely. It'll be
guys
like the
don't,
Price is Right or Shut the Drop all over again.
yeah, and if you guys don't know the name of this show, it's a show that me and my brother did way back. This was before when podcasting was not even a thing yet. It was
Yep.
me and my brother, and and I was a teenager, and he was, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 years old, or maybe 10, who knows. But we usually had fun together, joking around, and we tried not to get in a lot of fights and everything. Even though he's all grown up now, he's a and I don't get to talk to him that much anymore, sadly. So that's fine with
Mm.
me because I have my own responsibilities, that I'm doing, especially with Weir One and taking care of the 75-year-old out there and all that stuff. And but anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, it was me and my brother. We used to do this whole shopping parody thing where I talk about a silly item that never exists and it's not a real item, and then I talk about it, I
Yeah.
give a description of it and then give out the price and everything, and then my brother moves on to the next item, and we do it back and forth until we decide, okay, enough is enough. And then I had this idea that now that podcasting exists back in 2005, that maybe one day I would probably turn that into a show. And hopefully in 2026, when I get the equipment, the Zoom
Oh my
microphone,
God, dude.
there's a good possibility that you be hearing the very first episode
Woo!
of this new show from We Met Plum Studios, copyright We Met Plum Studios,
Yes.
and me being the creator, the producer, directing, and executive producer, and that is a show called Things You Never Knew Existed, and that's the name of
Awesome.
this new podcast. And that will be launching sometime next year when I get the equipment, and I will do it all on the iPad, and you guys will get the very first episode when it becomes available.
Yes.
So that's literally how it all began, and I'm gonna make sure that I copyright it in every way because I don't want my ideas being stolen or anything like that because this
Yeah,
is a
tell me
creation of
how I can
mine. and
Yeah,
I
tell me
can't
how I can copyright my ideas. I need to
and
copyright.
I can't let anybody take that away from me because I'm
Yeah.
not gonna allow that.
Yeah, tell me how I should copyright my ideas because like later on because I'm going to start copywriting some of my other ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah, like my music, my songs, my game shows, video
hmm
games, whatever I created off the cuff.
yeah,
And yeah, that would be nice to go down to the copyright office and find out what can be copyrighted or what. So,
and we're at a hour and 40 minutes, and
you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yep,
Hour 43, yeah.
and
44
we got
now.
3 viewers who are watching, but
Woo!
nobody.
Hello, all three viewers. How are you?
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully, I didn't put you in a lullaby sleep.
Yeah,
That would totally suck. I mean,
I
because
know.
if Luke was here, he'd be I
I
don't know
think it might Luke might be tuning in
he'd probably be
after all.
he'd probably be sweeping away for Thanksgiving for the holiday season.
I don't know. No
But
idea.
anyway, so
Hmm.
so now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and do this one last thing, and that is the kind of programs that we remember using on a one particular version of Windows. It can be like 3.1 or 95 or 98, even ME, which kind of sucks. But for me, I would say for me it would be running applications on Windows XP. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I remember using back in the day on Windows XP. From media players to just about anything really. But mostly media players, because media players was something I used a lot on XP. There was so many of them, even the ones I don't remember from the top of my head, but I do remember some. Um,
Yes.
and yeah, I mean, and not having Microsoft Office on XP because I really well, I mean, I really wanted a Office, but I couldn't be able to get one. But who knows? So yeah. So anyway, a lot of memories I have, especially with Windows XP. Um, there's so many. I know that you have some that you would like to share as well on some of the apps that you remember back in the day. Like on 95 or even 98 or XP. Um, because again,
Well,
XP really was the operating system that there were many firsts for Windows XP for me as a teenager. Um, because there's a whole lot of memories I have with Windows XP
yes.
from the Bliss wallpaper to the new taskbar. Windows XP was really revolutionary at the time. And
Yeah.
it was so iconic, and I had it on my HP, and there were a lot of good times with Windows XP
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And then the last time I had Windows XP was on a HP netbook, and I used Skype, and remember talking to Luke on that XP machine for the very first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and for him, what would become the infamous video of them all on BPT, and that is
Yeah.
him doing the Crazy Bunch dance, which he doesn't do anymore
I don't know
because
about
he's a full grown man and an
yeah.
adult and all that.
I would like to see
But
the
it,
crazy bunch dance, maybe. I don't
yeah,
know, just for shits
but
and
like I
giggles.
said, he probably will never do it. But I do have that
Oh,
video on the channel, so you
oh,
guys can
we would
check it
like to
out.
ask him to do it again.
I don't
I would like
know.
to, or I like to see a video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Um.
bring back old times.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days. I'm telling you.
Mhm.
And back then he probably was a Windows person.
Yeah, and again, he's a Mac user now, so but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure he has fond memories of that too, especially with educational software that he had, on his old
Yeah.
Windows machine that he can't
Exactly.
play anymore because he won't get, the nostalgia,
Ah,
laptop and whatnot.
yeah.
But I can tell you, there was a lot of great educational software on Windows, like Math Blaster and a bunch of educational
Math
stuff.
Blaster.
The Jumpstart series, which I liked, especially the kindergarten one, which was really fun. It came out in '94.
Yeah.
Um, and I used it on the Mac as well because I played it on the Mac. But yeah, so there was a lot of great educational software, number munchers as
Yeah.
well, both Windows and the MS DOS version. Um, but yeah, so as you guys know, Windows, it's awesome. But
Yeah.
also, MS DOS, and I remember playing a lot of MS DOS games back in the day. With a lot of clones of Tetris games, like the one that I played, Acid Tetris from like 96, 97.
Yep.
And then there's old MS DOS games that we either remember playing or we just don't want to play them anymore, like Mega Man on DOS.
Definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
Mega Man 3 for DOS. Um, and I will tell you, MS DOS had a lot of game show games
Ooh,
on
cool.
MS
Yeah, I remember
DOS.
Jeopardy.
Yeah, Jeopardy was one of them.
Signal
Family
shot.
Feud was on there. Wheel of Fortune from Share Data, which I had, and I had Family Feud as well.
Yeah,
Um,
Wheel of Fortune, yeah. Double
yeah,
Dare,
yeah,
Funhouse,
Double Dare,
Hollywood
which
Squares,
which
Ever.
is great. By Game
Yeah,
Tech.
yeah.
I still like the NES version because it has a great soundtrack by David Wise. And although the optical course is not that great on the NES, but it's easier on the DOS version, and I do
Yes,
like the,
indeed,
the, the DOS
indeed.
version. It's pretty good.
Ah, yes, absolutely.
Um, Wipeout was on there.
Right.
High Rollers. There's a whole bunch of game shows that were on DOS. Hollywood
Yeah,
Squares. Um, I believe Concentration was on there too. Password was on there. Super Password, and again, just a whole bunch of game show stuff and even The Price is Right from like
yeah.
1990, which Game Tech did.
1990, yeah.
But yeah, there's a
Absolutely,
buttload of game
indeed.
show games that were on MS DOS.
Yep.
Um, and there were a lot of great educational games too, like Google Math, Googol, not Google, but Google Math,
Yes.
version 3.6, created by Paul Dawson.
Yeah.
Released in '93. I remember that game quite vividly. Number Munchers, a game that I like, because it was created by Philip Bouchard, who also would do the Oregon Trail. And yeah, Oregon. Speaking of that game, I played that in school, at my local school at the time. Remember that game as well.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and there was
Woo.
a whole bunch of MS DOS games. I mean, we could literally sit here and talk about talk about MS DOS games, but we do want to keep the focus on Windows. So that's something we can
Gotcha.
do for a later time, either as a stream on
Absolutely, yeah.
BPT or as a thing in the podcast form, because I do uh want to keep that in a podcast form, so we'll do that as well. But there's a whole bunch of MS DOS games. Space War, which is fun. uh Pat Gal from 1982, um which is a cool game. Then there's
Heck
Fargo
yeah.
Clones,
Yes.
and there was a game in 1983 called Digger. which was a
Digger,
clone of
yes.
a game by Universal called Mr.
Dig
Do.
Dug, right? Oh, Mr. Do, Mr. Do. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which combined Did Dug, and
Yes.
it was really cool. Mr. Do is a really good game. And it's also a really good Super Nintendo game that came out in '96. Really, really good. But yeah, Pat Gal, Space War, um, and like I said, there was a whole bunch of MS DOS games that were on, and there was too many to list. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Acid Tetris, the one that I played on Windows 95 on MS DOS, and it was really awesome. That was probably the coolest thing about Windows 95 is that you could restart in MS DOS mode, and then you can play your MS DOS games, and then when you get done, you can go back to Windows 95. Now, today you would probably need an emulator like RetroArch to emulate DOS, or use DOS bots on Windows and Mac, or even use Botzer on the Mac, or whatever version of DOS you would like to use and play those games again. Because DOS games, I mean, yeah, they do show its age, but at the same time, we all
Yeah.
remember playing at least a familiar DOS game that we play all the time. Excuse me, and education is one of them too. Like Number Munchers, like I said, and a whole bunch of other games too. A lot of memories I have of MS DOS, and those were good times for MS DOS. Um,
Yes.
really awesome stuff. So, but anyway, one okay. So now we're gonna talk about the Windows thing, and then we're gonna wrap up for tonight's stream because I know it's getting late. But so anyway, Windows XP. So well, okay. So here's some of the stuff that I used in Windows XP back when I was living in Lions Falls until 2005, especially
Yeah.
with Windows XP. So software that I probably use on Windows XP for me, one would be Wheel Player, like 7 or 8 back then. Uh, and then the one that I use and how it got its name from a media player um back in 2002 2003 days, and that is We're One Player,
Yeah.
and that's how We're One got its name. I really like the name, and I still do, still to this day. But yeah, We're One Player, and then obviously they went back to just We're Player and called it We're Player 10, and not We're One Player 3.
Yes.
So maybe it was a smart idea, but I don't know. I didn't like We're Player 10 as much as I did with We're One Player, but it was still good. I like We're Player 10, but I prefer We're One Player. Um, and whatnot. So the famous media player that I remember using on Windows XP, well, I can tell you that it really whipped the llamas, you know what, because I used software that you all are familiar with. It started out in 1997, and now it sucks.
I
um, but back then it didn't suck. But today it sucks because it's not what I know anymore. And that, my friends, from Nullsoft, it's a legendary audio player called Winamp.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, Winamp.
I used Winamp 3, and the one that I used the most on Windows XP was Winamp 5.
Oh,
And Winamp
cool.
5 had a really nice skin on it. It had a lot of plugins where you could go on a website and download new plugins when like new virtualizers or new plugins. One of the coolest things about Winamp, and I didn't knew at the time, is that you could actually play chiptune music within Winamp. So, for example,
Awesome.
The NES stuff, the Super Nintendo, the
Genesis,
Genesis, and you could listen
Atari.
to those music games, the game music itself, via like NSF, SPC, or VGM, or whatever it
Yep.
was, uh, and the other one for Game Boy, and the other ones. But yeah, so NSF, SPC, PSF, which was PlayStation. I forgot what the Game Boy one was. I think it was something. It was GBS. GBS, Game Boy Sound. Um, but yeah, I mean, we're
Yeah.
not talking about the actual game itself. Just, well, maybe, but playing back the chip tune music, because that was a really cool thing in Winamp, because I remember opening up Winamp 5, and then I downloaded like Adventure Island .nsf, and I remember like opening it up in Winamp, and then I was listening to Adventure Island music, and playing it on Winamp, and my mind was blown. Like, holy crap! I could play this on Windows XP on Winamp, and that was so freaking cool back in the day. And I remember that quite fondly, and it still gets me every time. And I remember it like it was yesterday. But again, times have changed, and like I said too, Winamp doesn't exist anymore. I mean, because Winamp sucks now, as because
Yes.
it wasn't back then. Um, but however, though, you can listen to these video game soundtracks by using software on Mac called Audio Overload, or something like that, where you could play back chip tune music on the Mac.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, on the iPad, there is a app called Square Waves, which is a way that you could play video game music, like NSF,
Yep.
GBS, SPC, and you can play them on the iPad. There's a free version on the App Store, and I think there's a paid version where you get all the features you want. I don't know how much it costs, but it's a free chiptune player on iPad, and it's really good. Again, it's called Square Waves, and you can find that in the App Store. So that one as well. So, but anyway, yeah. So Winamp 5, a lot of memories for me. Um,
Yeah.
so when I went on to NSF, SPC, which was a Super Nintendo audio thing. Remember playing Chrono Trigger music on Winamp, listening to my favorite soundtrack ever created, and it still is 30 years later. Um, it's just incredible, listening to that. Listening to a Game Boy's music
Yes.
in
Game
Winamp,
Boy.
or
Yeah.
listening to a Final Fantasy 8 or Final Fantasy 9 music in
Yeah.
PSF, or Chrono Cross. But yeah, I mean, Winamp was probably an awesome media player that I still misuse, and I still miss using
Yes.
Winamp. And again,
Definitely.
the Winamp that we have today sucks. It's not the Winamp that I
Indeed.
know.
Indeed.
But yeah, Winamp 5 on Windows XP with the blue skin, the
Yeah.
silver thing. It looked incredible, and yeah, I remember Winamp 5 so much, and Winamp 5 was my favorite audio player, and it still is, still to this day. I love Winamp 5. Winamp 5 is, to me, my favorite media player.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. Next one, Football 2000. Um, and it did the same thing with as with Winamp and everything. And that too had plugins. And Football 2000, if you installed the plugin, called GEP. I think it's the name of it. It's where you can listen to various video game music formats like NSF, SPC, GBS, and a bunch of others. And it's really cool as well. And so Football 2000 will let you play chiptune music as
Yeah.
well on Windows only though. Um, Now, yes, there is a football on the Mac, but apparently they got rid of the NSF and all the chiptune stuff. So if you want to listen
Yeah.
to that, you have to open it in Windows. You can't do it on the Mac anymore, but you can on
Yeah.
Windows. So Football
That's funny.
2000, another great media player. The one that I used back then called Quintessential Player from like 2002, 2003. That was a really nice audio player.
Yeah.
It was a unique design of the quintessential player. I should show you the picture of that because again it was a media player that played audio. I think it only did audio. It did not do video. Um, but yeah, I remember Quintessential Player. It was a really cool software on Windows, Windows 2000 ME and XP. That
Yeah.
one. So
Absolutely.
there's that. Um, so 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 Quintessential Player.
I'm
And I
sorry, I'm looking at something as we. I have to get back to my friend Michael Trinzilla in about 5 minutes. Sorry to interrupt the show.
okay. Well, I'll try to speed things along.
I'm sorry.
Um. Uh.
I apologize. I just got a call from him now.
XM Player is the one that I remember using. Music Match Jukebox. Obviously iTunes. iTunes. When Steve Jobs announced iTunes for Windows, my jaw dropped because it was nice
Oh,
to
cool.
have
Mhm.
iTunes and being able
Yeah.
to convert to MP3 to AAC. Being able to burn a playlist to an audio CD. I still think iTunes was wonderful on Windows XP, and it still is. I loved it because you didn't need Music Match or Wheel Jukebox or any of this stuff where you had to give them the money so you could, upgrade to the Plus version and pay all that ridiculous amounts of crap, in order to get the advanced features. So that's that one. Another one that I used was Sonic. Sonique, Sonique. It is a audio player developed by Lycos, the search engine company, Lycos. Sonique played audio formats and it played video via plugin. Sonique, if I'm saying it correctly. Um, Jet Audio, which is an awesome media player. Um, Obviously, I do like Wheel Jukebox, but again, you would have to pay to get the Plus version. Same with Wheel Player Plus, which I never had, by the way. Um, there was one I used called Yahoo Player, which is a really good media player from Yahoo, the search engine. Yeah, Yahoo Music, not Yahoo Music, Yahoo Player. Then the Music Engine, which was a replacement of Music Match. Um, what else? The Music Jukebox, Yahoo Music Jukebox. Will Rhapsody. Um, I remember using Rhapsody. At first, it was a subscription only, and it didn't play the audio format. But I believe in version 3, it added support for media functions, and you could also add MP3 and Wave and other and all that. Web Networks, Rhapsody, which is now Napster, and Napster is a music streaming service now. so you can't play your own music, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rhapsody is the one that I remember using.
Yes.
Um, Windows Media Player 9, awesome. 10, it was okay. 11, it was okay, but I like 9. It was really good. I like the interface. Um,
Yep.
XM Play that I talked about. Jet Audio that I talked about too. Windows Movie Maker on Windows XP, which added a lot of new features and being able to do end credits and add music to it. That was so awesome. And that was the software that we used when Will One was first founded. And we used Windows Movie Maker until 2008-09, and then we switched to strictly PowerPoint, and that's how we survived all these years was PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Um, J River Media Center. I mean, again, guys, there's a whole bunch of software that I used a lot back in the day. That I love. But yeah, Yahoo Player, Quintessential Player, Will One Player, um, Winamp that I talked about, Football 2000. Um,
I apologize, Remix, but can I promote my site one more time, once again? Because I must get going, but I'll give you a call after I'm done with Michael on the line. Is that
yeah,
all right with you? My name
yeah,
is Trista Peter Kennedy. I'm a comedian, podcaster, actor, model, and co-host of the show, I guess you could call me.
yeah.
And my site, you can find me and my music and whatever I do, my actor stuff at chrisretrokennedy.com. I also got cosplay on there if you want to check it out. But friends, thank you. Remix, thank you for having me on here. I'm sorry I didn't mean to pretend like this, but I'll give you a call later on today if you're awake.
Uh,
All right,
well,
thank
thanks
you.
for being
Take care,
on
everybody.
the stream.
I apologize again
That's
about
fine.
this. No problem. I don't. I feel funny.
Yeah.
All right, you take care.
Well,
It was a great time doing the show. We should do it again.
yeah, we
Let's
should.
do it again. I know we got many more, a lot more coming up shows like this, folks. But Remix is
Yeah,
going to close out the show for you folks out
yep.
there. Whereas I take my call right now. I wish I could be part of it a little longer. All right.
Well, do what you gotta do. I mean, because I'm gonna wrap up.
Okay, you got it. So don't rush, Remix. It's all yours now.
All right,
All right, take it. But I'm listening on the other side of the coin, so
all right,
I can chat here and there. All right, no
yeah,
problem. Thank you so much.
all right,
All right, have a good night, everybody. And Remix will go on with the show. All right, thank you, Remix. All right, I will see you again. All right, let's see how I can close.
okay, folks. Well, that's gonna do it here for tonight. Sorry for that. But I think I will probably record another video of Chris going over on some of the memories he has, some of the programs he remember using back on Windows, whatever version of Windows and everything. So anyway, guys, unfortunately, we're gonna have to end the stream right now. But in the meantime, guys, that's gonna do it here for tonight's Windows 40th anniversary. Happy 40th anniversary to Windows, and long live Windows and long live productivity as it is. So anyway, guys, you can listen to Chris Candy plays his hits on Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon Music. And if you want to buy it, you can do so on iTunes. It's on Amazon MP3, and go ahead and give it a buy because I will certainly will when I do. When I'm not buying Tweetos down and other stuff. And also, ladies and gentlemen, you can check out Chris Kennedy on Webly. I'm on Webly now as well, which is remixplum.webly.com. And I post a lot of. I will get into posting stuff on there. Got a lot of content that I'm going to be working on for you guys. So stay tuned. You can follow me on X, which I don't use all that often, but I'm on X. I'm on Threads. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. And I'm on Blue Sky, so you can check me out over there as well. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna give a plug for Luke if he's gonna be watching this, or because I know he's busy and everything. Because but Friday, LJPCBM Fridays is returning, and so stay tuned and enjoy all the content of Luke Jeffers and help support him if you wish. And also check out the new season of LJPCBM Fridays. That's going to be coming back for that as well. And so there you go on that. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it here for tonight. And by the way, guys, do me a favor, hit that notification bell whenever I upload a new video or go live like tonight. And also, you know, if you would be so kind, give this video a like, and it really helps out with the whole thing. And if you enjoyed this stream, check out the other previous streams I've done for you all, like the NES 40th anniversary, the Microsoft 50th anniversary, the Microsoft Office 35th anniversary. Plus, if you want to watch game shows like Katy Pit Live and Word Bank, it's all right there on BPT. So there you go on that. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, happy 40th anniversary to Microsoft Windows and all that good stuff. And by the way, too, you can listen to my song on SoundCloud, excuse me, called Remit's Consents. And here is a brief of what this song's about, and then we'll wrap it up. And if you want to listen to the entire song of it, which is only about like 99 seconds or 98 seconds, head on over to SoundCloud and listen to my song, Remixes Consents. And I'll probably be working on a new song whenever I can. So there you go on that. So there you go on that. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it here for tonight on BPT. Again, I want to say a big thanks to Chris Kennedy for coming on and helping out with the stream. And to help celebrate the 40th anniversary of Microsoft's most iconic, legendary operating system of all time, Microsoft Windows. And if you missed the stream, there'll be a replay version on this channel and on Luke's channel as well, which I will authorize him to do if he wants to. It's up to him. And so do that as well. And like I said, that's pretty much it for tonight. So for Chris Kennedy and all to you guys, my subscribers, this is Remix Plum here for Brendan Plumley Television. This stream is copyright 2025 Remix Plum Studios. And I am the producer of this stream as well as the executive producer. And again, big thanks to Chris Kennedy for joining us and helping us out with this awesome stream for tonight. So for Chris Kennedy and the entire people here, I am Remix Plum saying have a great Thursday night. And ladies and gentlemen, I am unfortunately going to be back to work tomorrow at Wheel One as your CEO. So I'm going to be back on duty tomorrow. And so I'll see you all in another stream at another time, another town, another place, whatever that might be. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, guys, Remix Plum saying good night here from Remix Plum Studios. And this will conclude tonight's Microsoft Windows 40th Anniversary BPT Super Stream Special. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you again next time on BPT. Good night, everybody.